Hey everyone, and welcome back. Tonight I want to share a story about a place that always held a strange fascination for me, abandoned amusement parks. There's something inherently unsettling about these places, frozen in time, the echoes of laughter and joy now replaced by silence and decay. A few years ago, I had the chance to explore one such park, a place with a dark local legend, and what I experienced there still haunts me. This park, known as Joyland, had been closed down decades ago after a series of mysterious accidents. Locals whispered stories of it being cursed, of strange things happening on the grounds long after the gates were locked for good. Despite the rumors, I was drawn to it, intrigued by the urban exploration aspect and the potential for some unique photography. I went alone, armed with my camera and a sense of nervous excitement. Getting in was easier than I expected. The fences were rusted and broken in places. As I stepped inside, the silence was deafening. The once vibrant colors of the rides were faded and peeling, the metal groaning in the breeze. It felt like stepping into a forgotten dream. I wandered through the park, taking pictures of the decaying attractions, the skeletal remains of the roller coaster reaching toward the sky, the carousel horses frozen mid-gallop, their painted eyes staring blankly ahead. There was a thick layer of dust and debris everywhere, and the air hung heavy with the scent of rust and decay. As I explored deeper, I came across an area that felt particularly unsettling: the old funhouse. Even in its dilapidated state, it had a sinister aura. The distorted mirrors were cracked and clouded. The animatronic figures were frozen in grotesque poses, and the maze-like corridors felt claustrophobic and disorienting. Inside the funhouse, I started to hear things, faint sounds at first, a child's giggle, the distant melody of a calliope. I dismissed them as my imagination playing tricks on me, the echoes of the park's past. But the sounds became more distinct, more persistent. I rounded a corner in one of the maze's corridors and saw something that made my blood run cold. A small child's toy, a wooden rocking horse, was slowly rocking back and forth on its own. There was no wind, no discernible force that could be moving it. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. This wasn't my imagination. Something was happening here. I cautiously approached the rocking horse, my camera raised. As I got closer, the rocking stopped abruptly. The silence that followed was heavy and oppressive. Then I heard a child's voice, clear and close, whispering my name. I spun around, but I was alone in the corridor. The whispers continued, seeming to come from all around me, soft and childlike, but with an underlying tone of something sinister. I couldn't make out the words, but the intent was clear. I wasn't welcome here. I started to feel a coldness in the air, a presence that wasn't just the atmosphere of the abandoned park. It felt like I was being watched, surrounded by something unseen. I tried to tell myself it was just the power of suggestion, the creepy environment playing on my nerves. But the whispers persisted. And then I started seeing things in the distorted mirrors, fleeting shadows, figures that weren't there when I turned around. I knew I had to get out of the funhouse, out of the park. The sense of dread was overwhelming. I started to make my way back through the maze, my pace quickening, the whispers following me. As I reached the exit, I saw something that made me stop dead in my tracks. Standing just outside the funhouse in the fading light was a figure. It was small and indistinct, but it had the shape of a child. It was just standing there, facing away from me, perfectly still. "Hello," I called out, my voice trembling slightly. The figure didn't respond. It remained motionless. I took a step closer, and then I noticed something else. The figure seemed translucent, almost like a shadow, and then it slowly turned its head to face me. I couldn't make out any features, just a dark void where its face should have been. But I felt a wave of pure, unadulterated terror wash over me, a sense of ancient sadness and malice emanating from it. I didn't wait to see anymore. I turned and ran, as fast as I could, back through the park, the whispers echoing in my ears. The image of that faceless child burned into my mind. I didn't stop running until I was outside the park gates, my lungs burning, my body shaking. I never looked back. I did some research later and found more details about the accidents at Joyland. They were all children, and locals still say that their spirits linger there, trapped within the decaying rides and silent corridors. I never went back to Joyland. The photographs I took that day are still on my computer, but I rarely look at them. Every now and then, though, when I'm alone in a quiet place, I think I hear a faint child's giggle or a soft whisper, and I'm instantly transported back to that terrifying afternoon in the abandoned funhouse, facing the faceless child in the fading light. Some Joylands, it seems, never truly let go.